Welcome to the Embodied Woman podcast with me, Rebecca Wilson. An embodied experiential space for you to drop deep into the wealth of wisdom within your being and activate a fuller, richer you. I am a feminine awakener, thought leader, embodied business doula, sacred business midwife, healer, and all-round medicine woman. I am here to guide women deeper into their essence and power, to activate their life force, awaken pleasure, and support them to live an embodied life. I will help you birth your visions, dreams, creations, desires, and sacred business into the world from an easeful, embodied, and rooted place within. My work supports women to become more available for life, love, relationship, connection, creation, pleasure, and wealth. I will activate you into self-leadership and self-mastery to truly live an embodied and awakened life. Welcome on the journey, my love. Hello, love. Welcome. So, if you have been here along the journey with us since the birth of this podcast, you may have noticed that we have been through a rebirth. And if you're new here, welcome, my love. It's so beautiful to have you here. And yeah, we have been through a rebirth and a renaming process in the podcast space here. I had felt this calling or this knowing inside of me that there was a transition and something moving inside of my inner world. And I had sat with all of that for some time and spoke to my team and discussed different possibilities and the things that we're creating in the business and the offerings that are being born. And through that, what arrived to me was that the podcast was ready for a renaming and rebirthing. All of the sharing and the messaging and the content that I bring here in this space will stay. We are actually moving into working towards bringing 4 episodes a month, which is super exciting. I just love being able to share in this way and connect with you all. And I love receiving messages from you about the insights that have arrived when you've been listening to the podcast. And yeah, I wanted to bring more of it. And through that process, through that creation cycle that I was in, it kind of landed with me that the name wanted to change. It wanted to feel fuller, rounder, more rooted. And so the Embodied Woman podcast with me, Rebecca Wilson, has been reborn. The new name really wanted to be all-encompassing of womanhood, of all the things that we explore and journey through and navigate through and have the cycles of, in expression of, being an embodied woman, whether that be in business, which I support so many women in the creative aspect of their lives, but also within the womanhood of being a woman in the world and what that means for them, reconnecting to their womb and the feminine energy, how that shows up in relationship to family, to partners, to children, or the journey of conception. And so the Embodied Woman was born. And that, for me, represents the overall message or reason, the why that is the thread that connects all the multifaceted expressions of my creations within my business, is for women to return back into or deeper into the embodied version of themselves, to be an integrated, embodied woman. And whether that be in relationship, in partnership, in motherhood, in business, in connection to self, in connection to others, or in any other area or facet of your life, holding that energy inside, anchoring into that frequency, that embodied knowing of yourself. And ultimately what it all arrives into is supporting and guiding women into a deeper relationship with themselves and their bodies, their hearts and their wombs. And from that deep space within, just recognizing all the possibilities and potentials that arise and are born from that space. You know, the women that step into my world, they are working in business, they're in creation, they're in leadership, but they're also mothers and they're also partners and they are family members and their daughters and their sisters. And the common thread that weaves through all of the sharings and the spaces that I'm so honored and privileged to create, hold and support is this thread of returning into or deepening into or remembering what it means for each individual woman to be embodied in their fullness, their trueness, their wholeness. And there's not a one way fits all. There's not, this is the blueprint for that, because it's such an individual experience to reclaim and remember these parts of the self, maybe long lost, forgotten, abandoned, rejected parts. And we all have different aspects of ourselves that we shut down or discard along the way throughout our own personal journey of being a human. But whether that manifests in creation, in business, in leadership, as a space holder, a healer, a mother, a wife, a partner, a sister, a daughter, a friend, a colleague, a woman in the world, there is this journey that I see and have witnessed over the last decade of my work here. And it is the returning, the remembering, the restoring back into the fullness of self. So here we are, reborn with a new energy in this space, and it will be moved throughout my creations of my business in the coming weeks and months. So thank you for being here on the rebirth day of this space and the energy that gets to pour through in all of the sharings that I get to offer and create here with you. So I felt like to honor this energy and this rebirth, what better way than to create a podcast, to create this space, a journey for us to share and discuss the traits of an embodied woman. And when I was feeling into this, the inspiration that arrived to me, with me, and for me was that of what I have witnessed in the women that I have been gathering with and that have journeyed with me for many, many years, many different expressions of ceremony and circle and retreat and immersion and individual journeys and mentorships and masterminds, all of the thousands and thousands of women that I have had the honor to witness unfold and arrive more fully into themselves, have been the inspiration for this sharing today. So thank you all. If you're one of those women that has journeyed with me some way, somehow, in some timeline, in some form, thank you, because you inspire the constant creation that moves through me to provide these spaces for you and for other women, for all women. So thank you, thank you, thank you. The traits of an embodied woman. What I have witnessed and found to be true, that I have witnessed in the many women in my world over the last 10 years. She is connected to her body. She is rooted in her pelvis and womb. She is connected to her heart. She is aware of herself. The embodied woman. She is anchored in self-responsibility. She is awakening deeper into her pleasure as her natural creative power and potential. She is unafraid of her power. She loves herself through all life experiences. The embodied woman. She is embodied in her knowing and deepening into her wisdom within. She is heart-centered. She leads with truth and love throughout all her experiences in life. She is walking her path of awakening. She is liberating herself into her fullness. The embodied woman. She is rooted in her worth, at ease in her power, radiant in her creativity, alive in her pleasure, anchored in self-trust, expansive in her magnetism, activated in self-leadership, embodied in her boundaries, radical in her self-responsibility. So my question to you, my love, as you feel those traits and those expressions ripple through you in this moment, can you feel her rising inside of you? Is she you, the embodied woman? Is there a yearning inside of you to awaken more fully into her, which is a journey to remember your full true self? The journey of arriving deeper into yourself, beyond the noise of the external world, the shoulds, the shouldn'ts, the do's, the don'ts, the this, the that. There is a quiet space within you, within all of us, which is our deep space of wisdom. It's the quiet space within that knows the truth of our hearts. But throughout life, we're often drowned out by external noise. The world, situations, places, people, pulling threads of us here, there, and everywhere. And I get it. It's part of life and it's part of being human. But what I have recognized lives alive in so many women is a deep yearning to return to that quiet space within themselves to listen, so they can hear, feel, and deepen into the truth that lives in their hearts, in their bodies and their wombs, so that they are better able to navigate life experiences from that wise, knowing place within. Sometimes it isn't the external world that is noisy. It can be the internal chatter of the mind, the inner narratives and stories that have been falsely conceived or woven into the tapestry of your body and your being, that leave you feeling fragmented, distorted, disembodied, frazzled, or reaching a space of burnout. The mental chatter pulling you this way, that way, the other way. And with that, we can lose a sense of clarity and knowing. We can lose a sense of trust, trusting your body, your intuition, your inner wisdom, and that inner guidance that is there and alive within you. But we must create space to sink into that quiet power and that deep well of wisdom within. There's often a yearning in women to awaken more deeply, more fully into the multifaceted expression of who they are. To awaken into their embodied fullness. And this often arrives, and what I have witnessed throughout my years of space holding and mentorship and guiding women, it arrives for them when they step into a sacred space, circle with other women that say yes, that are aligned to that part of themselves too. There is so much power in gathering with other women that are committed to themselves and their journey of awakening. These are the spaces where those deep, intimate conversations and connections can form, can be born, can unravel. There is such power in sharing, in witnessing other women, in being heard and seen yourself, in finding aspects of yourself in other women's stories and recognizing we're not all too dissimilar. So my love, I ask you, if you hold this desire within you, if you can feel that yearning that you want to awaken into a fuller, deeper, embodied version of you, in all areas and aspects of your life. And then this is your invitation to join us in a sacred circle of thought leaders, empowered women, visionary sisters to activate and awaken creation, radiance, magnetism, pleasure, power, and to embody your leadership. If you're feeling that call and you're ready to step in to a sacred space with other women, a council of light, a circle of women that will be intimate, in connection, in conversation, in sharing, I am here ready to hold you in your rising. This is the journey that I have created for 10 women only. The Embodied Woman is a mentorship for women that are ready to walk a pathway of initiation into deeper growth and to align into the leader, creative, woman, embodied feminine being that they are here to be. This is a space for women who are space holders, visionaries, thought leaders, sacred business owners, mothers, teachers, guides, midwives, doulas, women walking the path of awakening. During this sacred journey, you will be held in this space of potent transformation. It is an embodied and experiential mentorship to activate you deeper into the fullness of you. The Embodied Woman begins in May 2023. The space is limited to 10 women only. 3 spaces have already been claimed. We have 7 remaining. This is a 6-month mentorship. If you're feeling the call, all the details are in the show notes. All the links are down there for you to click, to follow, to explore. If this has moved something in you and you're feeling the yes, the call, that part of your body that has lit up and been activated, come and connect with me on Instagram at Rebecca_Wilson_, or you can find me through the link in the show notes and you can arrive into my website, or you can drop into my world and connect with me through email. I am here. I am listening in full support. Share with me what has risen, what's present, what's stirring for you. And if you're feeling that call to step in with us, I welcome you to join us, my love. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. If you loved this musing and sharing, I would love for you to share this episode far and wide. You can arrive into all of my offerings at rebecca-wilson.com. Links to dive deeper with me are in the episode notes. Remember, my love, you are here to be the fullest, most potent, powerful, embodied version of you. I am here to guide you into that. Hey love, I'm dropping in here to welcome you to join us in our online community membership, The Village. I created this space for women to gather, to return to themselves, to deepen the connection and the relationship with self, whilst held in a community of like-minded women walking the journey and the path of their own awakening.